The bluefin tuna is one of the largest and most powerful fish in the world. In this video, we attempt to catch one of these monsters. Welcome to a new video. Our journey begins this time in Spain. To be more precise, in the marina of Valencia. Our mission for the next 3 days is simple. Together with the guys from Green Flake Fishing, we want to catch one of the biggest fish of the Mediterranean Sea. My name is Felix, and if you're not familiar with this channel yet, you should definitely subscribe to it. Because here you will find the most exciting fishing content on YouTube. Before we could start on the first day, we had to make a brief stop to refuel the boat. And then it was time to go. To catch one of these deep sea monsters, you naturally need the right bait. So we first headed to a spot where we could get them. Using simple paternoster systems makes it quite easy. Once the bait box was full, we could start with the actual fishing. The approach to tuna fishing is simple. You place 3 rods at different depths with bait fish in the water, and then it's a waiting game. Every now and then you toss a sardine into the water to attract the fish. We didn't have to wait long on the first day until the first tuna started passing by. Suddenly, everything happens very quickly. The first tuna is on the hook and Yoshi's in a bag. A 1-hour fight begins. When fighting with such a monster, the rod is additionally secured to the boat with an extra safety line during the fight, because of the enormous forces of these fish. Otherwise, you might get pulled into the water. When such a monster comes up next to the boat, your heart skips a beat. It's hard to describe how big these fish are.
Dann müsste man hier Schwanz.
2 meters and 7 centimeters. After this fish was on the boat, we were all completely exhausted, so it was time to head back to the harbor. It wasn't until the next day we continued. On the way to the spot, we found a group of dolphins. That alone was a breathtaking experience. We are now heading out and we have just arrived at the spot. Adrian is already in the middle of a fight on the other boat. They already have the first big tuna on the line. Let's take a quick look. While things were heating up on Adrian's boat, it was still a bit quieter on ours. We had to prepare everything first, mount the rods and put them in the water. So it's a bit like carp fishing here. We've now set out 3 rods. In the background you can still hear the clutch of the last rod. We have placed them in 3 different depths. One rod is now at over 100 meters deep and the others are at around 40 to 50 meters. Now it's time to wait. Each rod has a balloon and a 1 kilogram weight attached to it to keep everything in position. When the bite comes, the balloon usually explodes or starts moving. It's essentially like normal float fishing, just on a longer scale, but the fish are also bigger. Here we are using a 1.4 millimeter thick monofilament mainline and a 0.7 millimeter braided line behind it. In the background you can hear the radio chatter of all the anglers around us, but for now it's just a waiting game. Waiting. Whether you're fishing in freshwater or saltwater, waiting is always a part of the game. I have to admit though, on this day, only the seagulls were successful in getting their meals. The tunas didn't show up. Unfortunately, today there was nothing to see. We fished all day, or rather, we slept. Yoshi slept. He was a bit tired from yesterday. Today nothing happens, so we will continue tomorrow. Today is our last day in Valencia. The weather is a bit worse today. A big storm is approaching behind us. I'm not entirely sure whether we should head out now or wait a bit longer. Ultimately, today is the last day. The last chance for me to catch a tuna here. Today we will just see if we can find one somewhere. Well, let's see if things get wild today. The last day in Spain is here. Will I get one more chance to catch a tuna? 7 hours later, I got my answer.
Warte! ¡Combate! 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 ¡Yes!
It took a really long time these past few days. Just now I made a few casts with the popping rod at the front of the boat, while Adrian was feeding sardines at the back of the boat. Suddenly a fish sucked in the bait and it's now hooked. I'm sweating a bit. Finally the moment has arrived. I stand with trembling knees at the edge of the boat, and on the other end of the line a big tuna is pulling with all its strength. With this tuna we decided to release it back into the water. So it's time to dive in and go down with the fish. Well, about 3 hours ago the fish disappeared back into the depths. Now we are back in the harbor. We have cleared everything out of the boat. There's Yoshi, he's heading home tomorrow. It worked out at the end, and I'm happy. There was no more storm, luckily. It passed right by us this morning. And at this point I would say that's it for this video. Feel free to check out green flag fishing. You can find the link in the video description below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you next time.